Hello, Andrew and Tyler. I really like this location, this steak and shake you put up for sale in Prattville, Alabama. And I'd like to make an offer. I'd like to make a cash offer on this one. So I'm submitting a cash offer with proof of funds to pay for it and this video to explain who I am and why I'm asking for some time in this offer. So I'm Luke Smith, and you can look at my YouTube channel and you can find me in recorded documents all across the country, north, south, east, west. I'm all over the place in different real estate deals I've done, but lots of online resources, comments, and information about me and my properties and deals I'm into. And so feel free to look at those. But I like this building because of the data. I'm a data guy. I love data. I love studying real estate data. And in this particular building stood out. I've worked on Steak and Shake building in the past, and so it's dear to my heart and familiar. And I was looking at the data and it just stood out. It really stood out, and I'm going to try to show you why. So let's jump into it. I pulled this up on Crexy. I found this one on Crexy. It's been here about 10 days. Tyler's listing agent. I had to go into the operating memorandum to get Andrew answered the phone, and we were talking just a little bit ago. And so I was looking at this and studying, and the data got me. So data, Luke, what are you talking about? I was pulling this up in multiple different ways. I was looking at all the neighbors, and then none of the neighbors really stood out to me as like the all-stars to copy and get their best competitors to go over here, right? But then I looked at the Steak and Shake, the history of what was going on with this building. I was trying to put the story together through the data forensics, right? And so I started pulling up the cell phone data of historical people visiting this building. And this is a pretty boring chart in the background, but it's really exciting to me because this is monthly visitations of this property. It shows like where people are coming from and everything. But how many people go to this location is equals to sales. And that's where we want to get, because then I can figure how much rent I can charge for a building like this and what kind of value the thing is. And that's the number that turns me on, right? So the historical traffic to this building in 2019, like before COVID happened, I mean, this looks like the historical traffic of a Chick-fil-A or an In-N-Out burger, but it's a Steak and Shake. I mean, these are talking about 40,000 customers a month going to this Steak and Shake. 40,000 customers a month. This is a lot, and it's month after month, a little more, a little less, bouncing around. The years before and the years after are doing this too. It's not just a one-off thing or a fluke or some ad they threw out there or whatever. I mean, they did it a lot, and then eventually they went out of business. They shut down partway through 2022, and then nothing, right? So I went back and I looked up multiple years of the visitors to this shop. Visitors counting cell phone traffic. So cell phone, people carry their phones around, and there's all kinds of apps on there that track their location. And we can buy that data, and we can see how many people have gone there over time. We could buy that data historically and see what's been going on. And then other data sets, people use apps to pay for stuff and use credit cards and debit cards, and it goes through merchant accounts, and we can see how much they're paying at different places that they're paying for things. And you can get average, how much do they usually pay at these shops. So I looked at a bunch of other Steak and Shake as well as ones I've worked on in the past, and it keeps bouncing off the $20 number. Every now and then you'll see a 17 and a half or 18, but it's usually north of 20, sometimes 25 or 30 bucks average ticket sales at these Steak and Shake. So I went with the 20 for the course of this number. There's all kinds of room for error. Any of those numbers work, but 20 is what I did these numbers off of. And this is 2017. This is a bar chart. 2017. This is how many people went to this Steak and Shake by how much they usually pay when they go there, right? 8 million. 8 is $8 million. I should have put a dollar sign on there. It's 8 million bucks. In 2018, it was 9.2 million bucks. This is my horrible handwriting. I'm better at data than handwriting, right? 2019, it was 10 million bucks, or just a hair shy of $10 million. Imagine doing $10 million in sales at a Steak and Shake. That's unheard of. And so down here, 2020, we got $5.1 million. In 2021, $4.7 million. I started telling one of my friends about this one, and he's like, Luke, your data's off. There's no way the Steak and Shake is doing that. I'm like, yeah, I got data from multiple different sets. Like, I'm cross-referencing it. This old Steak and Shake was killing it. And then COVID happened, and they did like half of what they were doing before. And they probably said, I'm not renewing my lease and going forward with this thing. Even though they're still one of the best steak and shakes in the steak and shake arena, their dribbles are more than most of them's operations. So that's why I like this building. Now, what can I do with that? What does that matter? Previous Steak and Shakes, what I did was wrote a letter to everybody that operates Steak and Shake, and I said, "Hello, love your Steak and Shake, right? And I've got a Steak and Shake over here that's doing these numbers, and based on those numbers, I believe this kind of rent makes sense for you. I'll rent it to you at this, and I'll give you tenant improvements to make the move and modernize the thing and go for it, facelift it, and run with it." And I had a half dozen takers on that. There's not that many people in the Steak and Shake universe. The first one, Steak and Shake will basically give you, but location number 2 and on, you got to add them on through these kinds of deals. And so I had a half dozen guys, gals, mixture going for it, and I can tell them about this one, the numbers on this one, and I'm pretty darn sure I'll get one of them to go for it. And with these numbers, I think I can get even more of them in the whole Steak and Shake arena to go for it, and work them against each other and see what I come out with on the other end. And so that's why I'm asking for some time. I'm asking for some time to pull off that marketing blitz. I will mail them all again. I will call the ones that went for it in the past, and I will call the rest of them just for good measure and tell them about this thing and see if I can get them to sign up for it, offer them the financing, give this thing a facelift, modernize it. Steak and Shake Corporate came down with a bunch of things to modernize at the end of this last year. One of the other guys I was working with ran into the bills on that. And so I know those numbers and we'll cook that into the deal and make it a brand new Steak and Shake and go after and chase some of those old Steak and Shake numbers. This could be one of the best Steak and Shakes in the Steak and Shake whole arena. And I think I could ask for rent accordingly to make this work and get to the prices that I'm offering. Thanks for listening. This is Luke Smith. And anyone else that's watching this or interested in these kinds of deals, I'm always working on these kinds of deals. If you want to join me in future deals, give me a call. There's a link in the description below. I'll put the address of this particular property if you're researching stuff in the description below so you can look it up and compare and contrast and say, Luke, you're crazy, or you have different data you want to call me out on. That's cool too. And or if you like the deal, let's do some of these like this in the future on other properties. Give me a call. I'll put the contact information in there. Thank you. Thanks, guys. See you in the next one.